Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 2 of TRL, this time coming to you from the Sepang International Circuit here in Malaysia as we take a look at the starting grid. And it's the two Red Bulls who have locked out the front row. Rafa and Stylen first and second, HSV in third, fourth Chastity splitting the two Blessmobiles, and it's Brad in sixth, Mighty Murph Danielson who decided to download a GTA update while we were racing, the Hef in ninth, Jensen Button, good to see him, in 10th, and Formula One Rocks in 11th and last place on the grid. But that doesn't mean he didn't have a part to play in this highlight reel as we head to the starting grid. 2, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights, a pause, out and away we go. Plenty of wheel spin for HS off the line, but I get a reasonably good start. Chastity there on the left, and the two Red Bulls are away up ahead as I come into turn 1 now, and I have to ease off a bit there before HSV comes into turn 1, and I get punted from the back, and that was the McLaren of Formula One Rocks. And absolute chaos as we go through turns 1 and 2, and I am plumb last, straight down the back, 10 out of 10, as we see the yellow flag, then the green flag. I got very patriotic actually when I saw this, because I kept thinking of the green and gold, the Australian sporting colours, as into turn 3, Formula One Rocks outbreaks himself. And no, do not adjust your screens, folks. That was a McLaren getting passed by a Mercedes for position. I know we don't really see that too much in real life or on the game, for example, as well. But anyway, through continuing on with lap 1 now, here we go, the double right-handers. I'm up into 9th place. My next target is Brad, up in 8th in the first of the Ferraris. Him and Hef having a close battle throughout the afternoon, and Formula One Rocks lagging a touch there, but he attempted to go down the inside of me, but I managed to keep that position as we come through this difficult series of corners. Now we're going to stick with this footage here on lap 1 because it was a hectic opening lap after I got pushed down to last. And have a look at that, 7th, 8th and 9th all together. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th in fact, as we come through this right-hander. It's the Toro Rosso of Danielson, Brad and the Hef, all line astern there as we come into the last corner. Here on lap 1 now. And have a look at that, we just saw the McLaren there of Formula One Rocks diving through the picture there, and he went off the track, and I thought that was the end of him for the afternoon, but I was mistaken as we crossed the line into lap 2. Up into P9 now. As we break into turn 1, and there goes Formula One Rocks once again. So this is not where I want to be early on in my race, but it was a very hectic race, and I reckon I've managed to get the job done there. Straight past Formula One Rocks, and that was the last time I had to pass him for the afternoon. Okay, fast forwarding to lap 5 now, and Danielson on the inside. I try and go down there. I have to ease off so I don't make contact, but he gets some wheel spin, loses the rear end coming out of that corner. Now I've got DRS, and can I pass him cleanly? 7th up to 8th gear as we brake now, and is he going to try and dive down the inside of me once again? I reckon he is. He's on the inside. He'll have the benefit of DRS coming onto the main straight as we end lap 5. Those yellow and green flags still going strong as we come down now. Is he going to make a move? Yes, he is. Down the inside. I try and brake a bit later. And have a look at that. Where did he come from? Formula One Rocks. I thought I'd finish with him for the afternoon, but unfortunately not. And have a look at that, 7th, 8th and 9th, the battle is on. A bit of contact there between the McLaren and the Toro Rosso, and that allows me to go down the inside. Jeff always giving his opinion at the most appropriate time. So up to 7th now, lap 6 out of 28. Now I'm starting to think about making my first pit stop, which I did. Now lap 17 now, so I've already made a stop for another set of option tyres. I went options, primes as my two stop strategy. I managed to get some clear air and put in some good laps. And I managed to get up to 2nd place, which I sort of split the Red Bulls there at one stage, and Chastity's further up in the lead as well. But this is when I got the call over the radio, C9 from my team. C9, in other words, if you can, hold up the Red Bulls. So Stylen's behind me, lap 17 out of 28, and I'm on an extremely worn set of option tyres, and this is the lap which I'll be coming into the pits this lap, and I'm just making Stylen and Rafa's job very, very difficult, and this allowed Chastity to gain a little bit more time up at the front, and eventually he went on to win the race. as we continue through lap 17, halfway through the lap now. And you can see there that advantage, 22.8 seconds behind Chastity, while Stylen is putting the pressure on behind me. And all the while, this was helping Rafa catch Stylen as well, as we come into this difficult second last corner of the lap. So Stylen and Rafa now with the benefit of DRS. You can see them there in my rear view mirror. You can see them battling away as I'm just getting ready to come into the pits and make my final stop of the afternoon onto Prime Tyres. I also managed to put in some really, really good laps and also jump HSV and Brad, who are having their own little private battle for 4th and 5th as they both go through now. Brad's gone through now, HS has gone through, so this is the set of tyres I'll be on until the end of the race. And HSV and Brad had to make one more stop as well as we come out of the pit lane. Jeff just confirming that it will be our last pit stop of the afternoon as we come into turn 1. So now I've got to spend 10 laps, or the best part of 10 or 11 laps, on this last set of Prime tyres. And I was struggling towards the end of the race, and then obviously the weather played a role as well, as I nearly lose the back end there coming at the back. So here we go. HSV is in the pit lane. Lap 21, I've passed HSV, who made his stop, and that migrating host thing was up on the screen the entire part of the race after Daniel Sun left, which was very annoying. So lap 21, I have passed HSV. I did pass Brad also, who made his stop 1 lap earlier than HSV, and I'm up into 4th place now. Chastity was a fair way ahead of me. As we fast forward to the last lap of the race, you can see there on the map that I'm not too far ahead of HSV, but everyone was struggling in the conditions. Everyone was on dry tyres as the rain came, and have a look at that. I've got to drive like I've got an egg under the accelerator pedal, Crofty, but here we go, across the line, 4th place in the Malaysian Grand Prix. I started 5th, finished 4th, and I had to be happy with that. Realistically, after the troubles I had at the start, it was probably the best result that I could manage here in Malaysia in a lag fest. And the more glitches and lag and everything else, it was a disaster, it has to be said. Drivers disappearing, aliens were the cause, as we watch the Hef struggle to finish off his race in 7th place. So there you have it, guys. That's the highlight reel for this week. Make sure to tune in next week. Hopefully a lag-free, update-free race in China. So I usually go pretty good there at China. I won a league race there a couple of seasons ago. So don't forget to tune in for that, guys. And I'll see you next week.